The iWorks suite of products includes Pages, Keynote, and Numbers. Before we start using any of those products, there are a couple of things that we want to check on our iPad. You will want to navigate to your settings. Once settings have loaded, you want to check your Apple ID, which also includes information about your iCloud and your iTunes. In this case, we're interested in iCloud. We're going to tap on iCloud, allow that to load, and you will scroll down until you can find iCloud Drive. If your iCloud Drive is turned on, it will be green. If it's turned off, obviously it will be white and gray. If your iCloud Drive is turned on, you have the ability to save files to the cloud so that they are not stored on your iPad. Obviously, this reduces the amount of space that is being consumed on your iPad by files that you create. As a teacher, you may find that you want to have this option turned on. So notice that I have this option turned on for Pages, Numbers, and Keynote, so I have the ability to save my files in my iCloud Drive if I would like. I can also save them locally on my own iPad. GCSE teachers, please be aware that students will not have the option to use their iCloud Drive. All files students create will be saved locally on their iPad, and this will impact the amount of storage that they have. This is because students use what's called a managed Apple ID that is managed by the school corporation, and therefore they do not have access to the iCloud Drive feature. So again, this is just something that you want to explore for your own personal iPad, and you will want to use this if the space on your iPad is limited and you envision creating a large number of documents with the iWorks suite. Now that you've checked a few basic settings, let's learn about our iWorks product. Now that we've learned a little bit about saving documents, let's go ahead and load Pages. Once Pages loads, you will see the familiar tabs that were discussed in the first portion of the video about the recent documents and the ability to browse where documents are saved. You will also see the ability to click on any document that's already been created. Obviously, we want to create a new document, so we're going to click the plus button in the upper right-hand corner. Once the plus button loads, you will see you have the ability to choose a template. And the templates have a large variety of options for you to select from. You have a basic template, which is a blank document, either landscape or portrait. You also have things like reports, books, letters, resumes, flyers and posters, newsletters, stationery, certificates, and miscellaneous. I clicked on the tab for each of those selected items. You can also scroll up and down the list to find the document that best suits your needs. For the purposes of demonstration, I'm just going to choose a blank document. When your document loads, the first thing you will want to do is to name your document. This is especially important when you are working with students, so that students don't end up with 25 documents, each called blank, 1 through 25. In order to name my document, I'm going to click or tap where it says blank 2, and then I'm going to backspace using the keyboard, and I'm going to give it a name. In this case, I will just call it Apple II Example. And then I will hit done. Now my document has been named, and every time that I open Pages, I can easily locate the document. Once you are ready to start typing in the document, you can use your finger and you can tap anywhere in the document and the keyboard will appear. When I'm ready, I could type the title of my document right here, and then I could start adding the body of the text right here as well. Now I could go about and change that font in several ways. The first is if I hold down my finger and then I select that word, I can click the paintbrush in the upper right hand corner, and I have a number of options here. I can change the paragraph style from body to any of the options that are shown on the screen right now. If I want that to be my title, I'm going to select title. I can click the back arrow to get back to the main text options, and here I have the ability to choose the type of font that I would like. Currently it's a variety of Helvetica. If I wanted to change that to something else, I could do so by selecting that. So if I wanted to use marker felt for my document, I could do that. I'm not sure why I would, but I could do that. And I can manually increase or decrease the size here, change the color. I can choose whether I want it to be left, center, or right justified, or justified so that the margins are exactly the same. So if I want the title to be in the center of the page, I can choose the center option right there. I can add bullets and lists very easily. Obviously I would not want to do that to the title, but I can do that. I can also add multiple columns as well as change the line spacing in this area. So a number of options for you to explore in the text area under the paintbrush. In addition to the paintbrush, you can also make basic text changes by using some options on the keyboard. So I can see right here that if I'm typing the body of my paragraph, I may want this to be indented. There is the tab button, which is not on the iPad keyboard, but I can tap that with my finger, and I have the ability to indent or tab. So if I want that to be tabbed in, I can tab that in, and then again if I tap back to the right of that, I can continue typing as needed. If I choose on the right side of the keyboard, there is the small a and the large a. That will allow me to change the size of font. It will also allow me to choose bold, italicize, or underline. To the right of that, I can choose which alignment I want. Obviously, if it's the body of the document, I want it aligned to the left. and then I can choose center, align right, or justify. And under the paragraph button, I have the ability to insert comments, page breaks, section breaks, line breaks, column breaks, add a bookmark, or add a footnote. Those are some of the basic text and font options that you will have the ability to change in Pages, and the options, when using those in combination with each other, are essentially endless. So feel free to explore those and allow your creativity to run wild as you go about creating a document. In addition to changing the font and the style types on your document, you will also be able to add a number of items into a Pages document. By clicking the plus button, which can be found just to the right of the paintbrush, you see you have the ability to add 4 different types of items, but many of those items have subcategories. The first item is a table, and by scrolling to the right, you have the ability to add different types of tables with different coloration. So you can choose the table that works best for you if you need to insert some sort of data table into your document. Immediately to the right of that, you have the ability to insert charts and graphs. You have 3 options here: 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, and interactive, which allow scrolling within the chart itself. And each of these options have more options in terms of color and placement and style. So you have plenty of options here in terms of adding charts and graphs to your document. Immediately to the right of the charts and graphs, you will find clip art and basic shapes. And you can see that starting with basic, there are a number of shapes you can insert, and then you can scroll to the right and you can insert objects. And there's a large variety of things. By scrolling down the page, you can find here animals, nature, food, symbols, education, arts, science, people, places, activities, transportation, and work. All of those have multiple options within them, and you can see those by scrolling down or scrolling back up. If I want to search, I can search for an item. So let's say I wanted a picture of the Earth. I can search and it will show me the results of pictures of the Earth. And I can choose one of those and I can insert that into my document. And once it's in my document, I can move that around wherever I would like, and I can resize if needed. So I have the ability to insert lots of objects and clip art into my document. Clicking the plus button again and going to the right of the clip art that I just showed, I have the ability to insert multimedia. I can do photos or video from the iPad that I'm currently using. I can access my camera roll and I can see any photos or video that I would like to add. I can turn on the camera and take a picture using the camera in real time. I can record audio. This is a great feature, I think, especially for younger students, is the ability to record audio. You can very quickly record something and place it into the document. So as you can see right now, it's recording. Obviously, it doesn't do you a lot of good since you're listening to the video, but you can have the recorded audio in the document, and then all the students would have to do, or all the user would have to do, is to press that button. So going back to the same location, I can also insert an image from the image gallery, and I can do that by clicking the plus button. And again, that allows me to insert a picture that's already in my camera roll, or I can insert from another location if I have files saved elsewhere, such as my iCloud drive. In this case, I do not, so it wouldn't do me a lot of good, but I do have that option. I can also insert a drawing, and notice that I have the ability to draw and color, and I can also erase, and then when I'm done, I can insert the drawing that I have created. Last but not least, going back to the same area, I can insert an equation, and if I choose the option there, if you have LaTeX, or I've also heard pronounced LaTeX, or MathML, you can insert an equation from there. If not, you can use the tools that are provided to insert an equation. So you have the ability to insert any type of equation that you would like, and then one that you think might be useful for your students. And if that was an equation you wanted, you could type that equation, you could hit insert. Obviously that equation was not very well placed by me, but I could move that wherever I needed to within my document. So those are an example of some of the objects that you can insert into a Pages document, and you will find those useful when creating documents with students or for use in showing students examples of what can be done with Pages. The last area of Pages that will be explored in this video is the More section. The More section can be accessed by pressing the 3 dots in the upper right hand corner. There you will see a number of options. I'm going to draw your attention to 2 options that I feel are particularly useful. First is the export feature. The export feature allows you to share your Pages document with others who may not have access to Pages. Pages files cannot be opened by those who use Microsoft Word, and if you have any doubt, it's best to share your file in PDF format, as that is essentially the universal way for sharing files. So if I choose PDF, it will create a PDF, and then I can choose how I would like to send that document to someone. I can send it through an email, I can share it through Google Drive, I can save the file, I can send it as a message, I can choose essentially whatever I would like to do in terms of how I would like to send that file. But that is very important if the person you're sharing the document with does not have access to Pages. The other option that I will draw your attention to is the Smart Annotation. The Smart Annotation is a beta feature that was recently released by Apple, and I think this is a great feature for teachers in their classroom. Here you have the ability to mark with a pen, highlight, use a pencil, or an eraser. You can see that I have the globe right here. So if I wanted to circle an area on the globe, and then I wanted to highlight that, I can very easily do that. And if I want to make a notation, I can do that as well. So if I wanted to draw the attention to someone and point out that this is Iceland, all I have to do is annotate that, and I can very easily show the reader of this document that this is Iceland. And for those GCSE teachers who have Apple TVs in their classroom, which is everyone, the uses of this are endless. You could annotate documents for students to see, you could provide examples of how editing should be completed, or you could just use it as a means for transmitting notes to students. But I think this is a feature that has a lot of uses, and I hope that in general you find Pages to be a program that allows you to express creativity and create new projects for students that you may not have used in the past. If you have any questions about Pages, please let me know, but I hope you find this versatile program useful for you and your students.